Manni, I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you too.
Thank you. You're my hero.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I've watched your live stream, and your live stream was amazing and fun to watch. I don't understand every word what you say, but it's funny and it's awesome.
Thank you. Manni, some question, answer please. Yeah. ウォーロボッツを始めた時期ときっかけを教えてください。
Please tell us when and why did you start playing War Robots?
I started playing War Robots when the game that I did before War Robots was no longer being, watched. People lost interest in the game, and then I noticed there's War Robots. I had a tip from a friend back then. A friend told me War Robots is a great game. You could start War Robots on your channel, and then I tried it. I liked the game immediately. And it turned out to work really great on the channel. Like, the people were really interested to see the content. They wanted more of it, and so the decision was easy for me to keep going with War Robots and the game that previously stopped being interesting, to leave that away and go towards something new. So it was a little bit self-interest and being super interested and hyped for a game that I really enjoyed playing. And the other thing is I got a tip, a friendly advice from a fellow YouTuber back then, who told me that this would be a nice game to do on YouTube too.
YouTube で動画を公開しようと思った理由を教えてください。
Why did you start making YouTube videos?
I started making videos as originally it started as a fun experience. I was doing a mobile game called Battle Command back in the days, and turns out I was able to build a very interesting base that was very effective, and then I wanted to share that with people who are interested, and then I made my videos with a little bit of fun commentary, sometimes without commentary, just uploading the base and explaining a few words sometimes. And turns out I got my first 100 subscriber using this strategy and basically uploading these videos. And I had no intention of making big YouTube back then. I just wanted to share my base, have a bit of fun with those who are interested and play the game too. And it so happened this was my first player base, and then they demanded more content, they wanted more, and so I started to doing it more often to satisfy the need, and because I also felt honored that these people would like to actually see more of me and my stuff, so I kept doing it more. And when I switched games, I noticed that there was an even greater demand on the other game than Vega Conflict, and so the videos, a bigger following and more and more requested videos, and I was super hyped that there's such a great community coming together for me. It was really an honor, and that's when I really figured out that this is an amazing thing to do. And uploading videos and sharing the experience in game, I found out I was relatively good at explaining what I do, and people seem to enjoy that, so I stick with it. And it seemed to have led me into a positive direction in the end.
マンニさんは他にいろいろとゲームをしていますよね。例えば Apex Legends、それらのゲームと比較してウォーロボッツの良いと感じる部分を教えてください。
So you play various games like Apex Legends. So if we make a comparison, what positive points and strong points of War Robots?
Okay, the strongest points of War Robots, in my opinion, is the fact that you can play the game for as much as you want. There's no repair time, and there's no life system that you drain your 5 lives, and now you're out of lives, and you have to either wait an hour or you have to buy lives to keep playing. War Robots allows you to play as much as you want. You can use those servers, you don't have to invest a single cent in it, and you just play as much as you want. You can play 24 hours if you will. And that's something I came to appreciate a lot coming from my old game. That old game I was doing before, it was called Vega Conflict, and after a battle, you had real-time repair for your fleet of up to 48 hours. So that means you cannot use your fleet 48 real-life hours long, or of course you spend $10 or $5 to skip the repair. So you could not play the game without paying, and that was the big difference. War Robots, you could just play as much as you want, and there's nothing that forces you to stop or to pay in order to keep playing. And that's really what made it so interesting to me, and what kept me engaged too. And the fact, of course, that I enjoy this type of playstyle Another game I play a lot is World of Tanks, for example. And in my opinion, World of Tanks and World of War Robots have a lot of similarities. They're not the same game, but they have a lot of similarities. Random map, random teammates, and you have your one tank or your one robot. In this case, we have 5 robots, but it's still really similar. And you try to do and use your skills the best way to make the best of this one robot or tank you have. And yeah, that was also something I learned in World of Tanks, and I enjoyed immediately in War Robots.
マンニさんはとてもお話が上手ですよね。会話をすることは小さい頃から得意だったんですか？
So we just noticed that Manny is an easy talking person. So it was your part of your character just like from your little years?
So, that's an interesting question. I think at first, a few years ago, I did not have this ability. First off, I was very insecure with English. I started out with English and made a conscious decision to start English to be able to reach more people this way, knowing that it will be difficult for me to learn that in the future. But I think it was the right choice, and as I kept speaking more and kept making more progress, the time it took me for editing a video, like cutting the things that I've messed up, cutting them out, the time for video editing went shorter and shorter and shorter as I became better at speaking. And eventually I can now do live streams of 2 hours, and I'm not always talking nonsense. So it's I think I become with more practice I became better and more confident into my own maybe speaking abilities. Yeah, and it helped me out. Yeah.
マンニさんはドイツの方ですよね。ドイツ語ではなく英語で動画を作成する理由を教えてください。
So many are German, and please tell us why you want to create videos in English rather than German.
Yeah, that's always mentioned a little bit. It's also already. I mean, it's that I'm able to reach more people with my videos. Obviously, this is a very obvious reason. If I would do video content in German, which would be no problem, it would be even easier for me as German is my native tongue. I could only reach a small part of the world with this. And although I like to connect with my fellow Germans too, I feel like Germans are usually also really well on English. Like Germans can still understand English, but the rest of the world does not understand German. So it's easy for me to decide English is the way to go, and this way I can reach almost anybody. Except just Germans. And of course, another reason is that I wanted and I had an interest in English. I wanted to get better at it, and the decision to stay with it also forced me to get better. And that was also a really good side effect.
最も好きなセットアップ。
So what is your favorite robot and weapon setup?
Oh man, Vortex Spectre. Vortex Spectre all the way. I like this thing so much. It's so trollish. Like I'm from playstyle. I like to be trolling. I like to play tricks on bad guys and firing these vortex over cover and trolling the enemy is just the best fun in the game. And that's why I enjoy the Vortex Spectre. Is like my favorite. And after that, I like robots that require a lot of skill. The Vortex Spectre does require some skills, but not that much. What requires more skills, in my opinion, is the Strider. The Strider requires some good piloting and good map awareness to avoid dangers, to not step into the wrong place and not get locked down at the wrong place. The Strider is a real skill machine, and that's why I also love the Strider a lot.
最も強いと思うんですけど。
What is the strongest setup, just for now, in War Robots?
Currently, at this very moment, it's still the Ares. Even though we currently just got the Fenrir, but the Ares is still the more powerful enemy because he can lock down the Fenrir. And with his increased mobility, or high mobility, he can just dodge the Fenrir and stay in cover after the ability regenerate and come and attack again. It's like a hit and run always. And eventually the Ares will defeat the Fenrir. And one thing though, the Loki can counter the Ares interestingly. Also the Invader can sometimes counter the Ares, but I think still the most powerful robot is the Ares right now.
マンニさんはとても楽しそうにウォーロボッツをプレイしているのがとても印象的です。
So we find it very impressive that Manny is very happy to play War Robots, and we think that people are attracted to it. But is there any things that you become angry while playing and so on?
Oh yeah, and this is something that I need to call out as my weakness. Like I have my own weakness, and that is that sometimes I tend to get carried away in my emotions a little bit too much. And when I watch my own live stream afterwards, I'm like, I hate myself for being so stupid again in this situation. Like, come on, Manny, just relax. And people say this also in the comments. They say, just relax, man. It doesn't matter. But I want to do the best I can at playing. I want to deliver the best gameplay. And when I get locked down 5 times in a row with the first shot, then I tend to get really upset and also say something bad. And I always hate myself later for saying it, but somehow I'm still working on that, and I'm trying to get a little bit more just relaxed, more calm, and just accept mistakes or failures a little bit more. That's something I'm still working on, and it will probably still take me a while.
今後の目標があれば教えてください。
Do I have any goals? Is the question.
Yes.
I think one of my goals would be to keep doing what I'm doing. Really. I mean, it's always great to see improvements and to see your channel going further up. But I think most importantly is I'd like to keep doing what I do because I really enjoy this type of life, like being able to be a YouTuber full time with all my effort and all my joy, energy, and fun. That's really what I enjoy most, and if it keeps that way, I'm really happy. Like, that would be my goal, not necessarily to become the biggest YouTuber in the world, but rather to just keep doing what I do and keep enjoying this type of life that I am allowed to have. Thanks to you guys watching, and yeah.
最後に日本や世界のウォーロボッツプレイヤーにメッセージをお願いします。
Say something for Japanese players. Konnichiwa. Oh, that's Japanese, right? Yeah. Other than that, I like to, in English, just greet you, you players and people from Japan. I actually know there is a lot of people from you also watching my channel. I know that because I see comments. From Japanese people writing in English, say greetings from Japan. Thank you all for watching my channel, and thank you all for being with us, with both of us. And also, it's great that you have come to know Taka here. He's a funny guy. I've seen a video from him, and I know you're going to have a lot of fun watching his games play.
Thank you.
My pleasure, buddy.
Thank you. Yes.